Hi and welcome to another Photoshop tips and tricks. Today we're going to talk about a thing called Chromatic Aberration. I have to say that very slowly because I can never get it right. Sometimes in images we find that we get a real sort of area where we get like a glow around it. So I'm just going to come in nice and close so you can see this purple glow. Now the purple glow is caused by a thing called chromatic aberration, and we've got a very light area next to a very dark area, and it happens in between there where it's almost like an aura around that light area. This happens quite regularly, so it is something that we do have to try and fix from time to time, and CarmeraRaw is the easiest way of doing it because they actually have a chromatic aberration area within CarmeraRaw to be able to fix this sort of thing. Just another reason why we should be using CarmeraRaw when we photograph things. First thing I'm going to do is go into my lens correction area, and you can see normally it's set up on the profile. I always enable my lens profile correction on here so that I can fix any distortion from the lens. But what we want to do is come over to this one that says color, and this is purple. Sometimes you'll find that it's a green aura around it. We're just going to bring that purple up until it sort of disappears a little bit. Now I'm not too fussed if there's still a little bit in there, but I just want to take the most of it away. So let me just bring this out a little bit so you can see the difference. So it just brings that little bit of purple down. You do have to be a little bit careful. I'm just going to come in a little bit closer here again. If you do it too much, you can see it starts to actually lose the color on the other side. So it is a very sensitive sort of thing. Sometimes you need to look at changing the colors that we've got in here to get the actual the correct purple hue, because we don't necessarily want to take out so much of these reds, and we do have to be a little bit careful with these blues. So sometimes it is a little tricky to play around with and get about right, but that's probably about it. I reckon I've got my reds in my face without losing too much. So that's probably, I'm pretty happy with that. And if I just come out to how it's going to print, that looks pretty good as well. So I'm happy with the way that that's been done. I can now open my image in Photoshop and continue working on it and do all the other bits and pieces to it that I would normally do when I'm editing an image like this. I might sharpen this area. I would probably lighten his face a little bit as well, and do a little bit of dodging and burning, and maybe even crop in a little bit closer on this shot. So there you go. That's our tip for this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again next week.